Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. It is Monday, the 2nd of December, and this is Standouts, a new show that we're going to try to do every Monday or after the weekend at some stage, where we talk about the standout things from Liverpool games the previous weekend. Of course, this one is from Manchester City and the 2-0 win at Anfield yesterday. If you haven't seen I suppose our coverage of the game, you can go back and you can check out the immediate match reaction with Chris, with Kev, and we're actually, and myself and Matt done a show having another look from a different angle of the game last night, which included a cardboard angel advent calendar of Liverpool media narratives, which was phenomenal from him. I just sat there and picked numbers and played some sound effects. So, yeah, that's how that went. Look, standouts. What we're looking at is, what stood out to you in that game yesterday. And I know, look, we covered an awful lot of it, but I want to give a few, stuff gets kind of talked about and then moved on because there was so much going on yesterday that maybe we give a few minutes to different things. And I have I've definitely titled this "How Good Was Virgil van Dijk," and we need to talk about him. And do you know what we when we talk about these lads that we're talking about contracts for them and renewals, and you see players, and sometimes if they don't feel like they're going to renew, do they stop playing? That's not the case with any of the three, to be fair. We might get onto Mo Salah in a little bit, but honest to God, Virgil van Dijk yesterday, I know he gives that chance up to De Bruyne, and I pointed out on the show last night that's 3 games in a row. Southampton, he gives it away and it causes a penalty. Madrid, he gives it away and we get away with it. And yesterday he gives it away and we get away with it, and he needs to stamp that out. But overall in the game, I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. His positioning, his awareness, pace he showed at the times, dominance in the air, such a threat. That header, it's actually a good save from the goalkeeper that hits the post. The one that he misses at the Kop end, he should score. He flicks one onto the roof of the net at the Anfield Road end. But he was a threat all day. City couldn't get near him. And just the way he played the game yesterday, he was, calm as you like, as people say. But his positioning, is absolutely... his position was unbelievable. I want to read out some comments as well, because people joining us this early deserve to have them. They deserve to have some stuff read out. Scouser pieces. Good morning, fellow Reds. Marge Apple says a groundhog morning to use. Let me see. Passio, morning, top of the league. Reds, nice morning. Gav says Dave, right, good morning. How are the fitted clubs going, Gav? That's probably a question for the 30 that's coming at about 11:30. That's that. Let me see. Steve says he might start saying up the fucking Reds instead of good morning from now on. Yeah, good show. Gucci Up says still buzzing from the game. Let me see. I heard VVD was the worst player because he made one mistake once in the whole game. No. It was quite annoying. I was annoyed. Gucci Up is annoyed. He says, I was fuming at Verge. We have never dominated their midfield as we did yesterday, toying with them, says Peter. I'm going to get on to that. You've led me into stuff really, really nicely. Joe Gomez spraying balls like Prime Pirlo. Got to jump on a team's call now, so enjoy the new show, everyone, says Avo. Cheers, Avo. But look, Van Dijk, I just thought was... He's whatever he is, he's 32, he's 32 years of age now. He looked so much like when he signed the Liverpool. He really did. His anticipation was unbelievable. His physicality with Haaland, who I'm going to go on and talk about a little bit, whenever he had to do it, was unbelievable. There was one little piece in the first half yesterday where Rico Lewis, who's a little mouth, by the way, if you watch the game back without the I suppose the emotion of it all, and you can see little bits that you wouldn't see because you're usually so highly strung watching a game. I would be anyway. And Rico Lewis is a little bit of a mouth. And he's mounting here and he's mounting there, and the ball gets played into him. He's in between midfield and the forward. He's kind of going up beside Haaland. And the ball comes into him, and Van Dijk just comes in and just leans on him, puts the foot in and leans on him and sends him. Now, the ref gives an advantage. It is a free. But it was Virgil van Dijk just going, yeah, give it over. And he leans into him, and Lewis gets up kind of looking around and then doesn't say anything. I just thought he was phenomenal. There's one where Haaland, second half, makes a dart, and he literally just he gets in position, watches this, and he doesn't panic and boot it away. He just plays a little cushion ball to Joe Gomez, and Liverpool go again, and everything he done, bar that mistake yesterday, which he was really annoyed with himself, by the way. It's not like me or loads of people are annoyed, and he's not. He was really annoyed. But he was absolutely brilliant all day yesterday. There's a couple of Liverpool things that stand out to me, and there's a couple of Man City things that stand out to me. So I'll try to switch between them as we go along here. Let me see. Pasio says Rico should hush his gums, seeing as he pulled out 3 to 4 tackles in that game. The soft prick. I didn't notice that, but if that stood out to you, brilliant. That's the sort of stuff I'm looking for, Pasio. So there you go. Nice one, because that stood out to you. Perfect. Keep it coming. I'm going to switch to Man City for a minute. And Gundogan. Again, when I was watching the game yesterday, and again when I watched it back again last night, he, for me, is showing his age in the fitness side of things. I think he's put on weight. I don't think he looks as slim and as fit as he used to. And I thought he was a problem for Man City yesterday. I thought he was a real problem for Man City. I'm after having a little go at Rico Lewis there, but I felt sorry for him a little bit, because he was trying to get around, and he was trying to do a lot. And I don't think Bernardo Silva, and I don't think Gundogan helped at all. But Gundogan just doesn't look anything like the player that was at Man City the season before last. He really, really doesn't. And it stood out for me, and it was something that, when you're watching the game back, you're surprised Pep has done this, and then it makes it even more surprising that the subs he makes when he makes them, because I don't think any of his midfield were having any impact in the game, and that goes back to something that we'll talk about in a minute. But honestly, Gundogan just looks a shadow of his former self. Sorry, that took ages to get out, didn't it? Dylan O'Rourke says, I'm in the office, earphones in, working hard or hardly working. No, you're doing fuck all. Let's be fair. At 10:55 in the morning. Gucci says, these contracts do my head in. I can't believe we're in December and still hanging. PSG reportedly in talks with Mo, according to L'Equipe. Don't be worrying about what anybody is saying. Honestly, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Leave it. It'll sort itself out. It really will. But yeah, Gundogan, it stood out massively for me. When I watched the back in particular, because I was trying to watch how good Liverpool were, and I was trying to watch why were they so good and why were they allowed to be so good. And for me, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, to be fair, especially first half, were huge issues for Man City. Bernardo Silva picks it up a little bit in the second half. He gets more active in the game, but then he turns into the little rat that he is, to be fair. So that's where that was. Liverpool's midfield work rate was part of that, and it could be the biggest standout of the game. It could actually be the biggest standout of the game, because Liverpool's midfield were unbelievable yesterday. Absolutely unbelievable. When you go through them as individuals, it was funny, because I think McAllister might have been the most physical of the three of them, quietly. If you look, let's start with Gravenberch. We always start with the deepest player, don't we? Gravenberch, for me, gets around so well, breaks things up so well, intercepts. Passing was really, really good. Very cute. He gives one away against Foden, where he feels like Foden might get away on the break here, deep in Liverpool's half. Gets the foul, doesn't get the yellow. That annoys Man City. He ends up getting one about 10 or 15 minutes there when he pushes over Gundogan. when in fairness he should just take 3 or 4 more steps and he'll get Gundogan, because he'll easily catch him. But he gets the yellow there, but he manages that phenomenally, throughout the game, and loads of little, he gets a toe in here, a foot in there, especially down there right hand side. Second half, where City are concentrating lots of what they're doing, lots and lots of what they're doing. Even when Savio comes on, he gets it, but they still filter back to the left hand side because they want to get it at Doku, and then when Grealish comes on with the last 10, they really want to get it to Grealish. But Gravenberch was really good. McAllister he's so physical without you even noticing him. He's very, very good. He just leaves stuff on people in a really, really snide way, and I'm here for it all day. He does it at one stage in the in the second half. I think it might be Foden, who gets it and plays it off to whoever it might be, and he just leaves one on him, and you can see Foden looking, and then the ball comes like literally 10 seconds later to somebody else, and he leaves one on them, and you can see them looking, and they know it's not enough to go down, but it's not too small for them not to react to it or not to have a look at him. And McAllister just keeps going about his business, just keeps going about it. And in between all that, when he gets the ball, some lovely little whip passes to Salah or Trent on the right hand side. That seems to be his ball out at times. He ran so hard for the team. He was so good. And then you have Szoboszlai, who the mix in there yesterday was lovely. Physicality, good passing, covering, tackling, and he played a huge part in it. The amount of running he does when you watch it back is ridiculous. But he's winning headers, does lovely little passages of play. He attempts a pass yesterday that if it comes off, it could be one of the passes of the season, where he tries to play a low kind of whip pass across the pitch for Gakpo getting in behind Walker, and Walker just about gets there. But the midfield is a tree in the way they out-muscled Man City, in the way they outplayed them, and they out-taught them, in fairness. I thought was a standout in the game yesterday, so that's why I wanted to give them a mention. Pascal says, Grab was great, but Dom was put in a phenomenal shift. Just small margin stopping him from adding goals assist to the showing yesterday. Mac was good too, apart from one bad pass that nearly puts us in trouble. I remember it. I remember the bad pass. And they all have one moment where you kind of go, Jesus, but we're asking them to be absolutely pitch perfect, I suppose. And going back on Van Dijk, we're asking them to be pitch perfect. But the Van Dijk one isn't something where he's trying to be progressive. I think he's trying to be smart. I think he's trying to be clever. And it doesn't work for him. Let me see. KDB looks a few stone overweight too. Not the KDB of the past. Looks done. I don't think he looks overweight. I just think he doesn't look as... Maybe so. He doesn't look as mobile, and he doesn't look as explosive as he could be. Kevin De Bruyne, good runner, good distance runner, can run up and down the pitch. But he doesn't look like he has that yard of explosiveness to where he can burst from you and then make things happen. So there we go. Another thing that stood out was Erling Haaland. And we're talking about Man City being ropey at the back, a little bit leggy in midfield, and all of these things can be true, and I think they are true. But I don't think he's doing them any favours. He's a brilliant goal scorer. He's a constant threat, I suppose. But despite being anonymous yesterday, you always have to be thinking of him. But I don't think he's doing them any favours. I think City end up more or less playing with 9 outfield players when they want to keep the ball and they want to manipulate the ball and they want to slow a game down, and he just becomes a guy standing up there that doesn't do an awful lot. Now I don't know how true it is, that he does he has 16 touches in the game yesterday, and it wouldn't surprise me because I can't remember him. I remember him kind of getting tangled up with Van Dijk. I remember that run he makes. There's one in the second half, first half, I think, where he takes the ball down and he kind of holds off a defender and plays it off. But other than that, when City are trying to manipulate a game, they're literally, like I seen one yesterday where in the first half where Bernardo Silva gets the ball on the right hand, on Man City's right hand side, their left hand side, and he comes inside, and you're thinking he's 40 yards from goal. You're thinking he'll pop this into Haaland. Haaland might lay it off. Bernardo Silva can move. Someone might play it to him, and he looks and he ends up running 35 yards across the pitch with the ball because he can't play it into his front man because his front man's not interested in playing. You know, Kev O'Sullivan says according to FotMob it was 16 touches. Yeah, maybe so. It's ridiculous, but when you're in when you're in brilliant form, it works, and it has worked for Man City because I always thought when he brought in Haaland, they don't really want to get him massively involved in the game, but he's there to finish, put it in the box, put it across the face of goal, hang one up in the box for him to go and attack, all that sort of things. It works, but when you're under pressure, and you need everyone to kind of simplify this game and get back to a little bit of basics of holding onto the ball, moving, getting a bit of confidence in you. When they look to the centre of the pitch up top, there's nothing there for them to lay their hat on or hang their hat on. It's so weird to watch, so weird to watch, and he was just anonymous for vast parts of that game. And not only did we do a great job in nullifying him when City did look for him, but I think City looked and went, we just can't play that game. It's not his game. And they kind of needed to be his game, because if you take, for me, Alvarez, who leaves there in the summer, and they don't replace him, and I know they were talking about Bob, to your man Bob, who looks a really, really good player and unfortunately broke his leg, to come in and be one of that kind of Alvarez-y kind of player. But Alvarez yesterday would have said, right, look, we're getting nothing off those centre halves. I'm going to have to pull out wide here. I'm going to pull out and I'm going to double up on Trent, and we let a Gundogan or whoever get through the centre of the park just to move centre halves around, and I'm going to pull onto Robertson, or I might even pull onto Gravenberch, at the deepest man. I might pull in there and see what happens, and it just did not work, and Haaland did not work in a sense of getting them chances. They didn't do it, but being involved in the game, he's just not there. He's just not there. Ben Eber says they don't use him properly. When they play well, they absolutely use them properly, because they move the ball quick, they move it, they manipulate, they overload, and then they get them chances. But they're not doing that at the moment. Limping Donkey says, nice to see it in the day. Like, yeah, there's a lovely light shining in there. Spoiler, I'm going to go and play some golf in about an hour and a half. Despite a head cold oncoming. Let me see. Kev O'Sullivan says, remember yesterday they tried to hang one up and VVD beat him in the air going backwards. A constant threat, but that brought out the best in VVD and Gomez. Yeah, when I say a constant threat, you can't take your eyes off him. But it wasn't like City were throwing everything towards him to try save them. They just weren't. And I think that goes back to a little bit to City feeling like they're above having to change. Why not get Savio and Doku or Nunes on the ball and go, listen, just cut back and put the ball in the box and see where Haaland can work with. There you go. Let me see. Alejandro says, City really messed up when they brought in Nunes for 40 odd million. That was their KDB replacement, and he is nowhere near. They rushed into buying him and missed out on other targets. I thought he worked hard yesterday, in fairness. I thought Nunes worked hard, chasing back. He was their only out ball in the first half. When you look at it, he was their only out ball. He was the only time he got on the ball and tried to make something happen. The rest, I just thought I just thought they were just poor. The standout from that game at City were poor. But the other standout is that Liverpool didn't allow them to be anything but that. And Alejandro followed that up with, Doku was a flop as well. He should be starting this game in an attempt to stop us from going full on attack. And he was on the bench today. Rod says, my gut feeling, no pun intended, is that there's something else rotten at City. Hope it's only the beginning. A couple of people have said that to me, and not Liverpool fans, by the way. Actually, a couple of Manchester United fans that I know have said there's something going on there. It doesn't feel right. The way Kyle Walker's carrying himself is a bit weird. The De Bruyne one is weird. Grealish not playing is weird, because Grealish can control a game that left hand side for me. It's really, really weird. It does. Maybe there is something going on there. I don't know. But they aren't a team. They were, and that's down to them. But I think Liverpool didn't allow them to be anything yesterday. In fairness, Super Dizzle says, I think Nunes would work better in their team. Maybe he would. Next Level says, hi Gav and anyone in the chat. Yesterday was a huge step in achieving what we all want to achieve this season. Starting 11 and subs all stepped up. Hopefully we can continue now and avoid more injuries. Yeah, avoid more injuries is absolutely key. I'm genuinely looking at Newcastle and Everton going, please come out of that with nothing, because then that gives us a chance to get back. Hopefully one or two players to come back in. Yesterday, the last 10 minutes, City are mentally broken. You can tell the way they were kicking. They were kicking out. They're at the end of a cycle. It happens to everyone. Maybe so. Bernardo Silva has a kick out with Salah, and I thought Salah was going to kill him. I really, really did. And when I was watching it back, I was trying to see exactly what Salah was saying to Bernardo Silva, because he fronts him up and he starts telling him. And Bernardo Silva walks away with a little smile on his face, but he walks away. And I think he knows Salah has a really good point to make, maybe. He's made a really good point, they better get out of here, sort of thing. Let me see. Master86 says, I think City's main issue is the midfield is spent. A number of key players have aged. Reminds me of when it happened to us with Fabinho and Henderson, etc. You're not the only person to say that. And it does happen. There's times where you go, right, from my point of view, watching Liverpool 2022, 23, you're kind of going, look, we can just get it right. It's just not right at the moment. And you kind of go through that. For me, I went through this series of, or period of time, which was denial. And it was denial for me. Where I thought we can get it right now. They just bit of form, they've done so well for the club in the past and stuff like that. But then you just see the wheels fall off. One day you just go, no, the wheels have gone. They've gone. And you see, I don't think the wheels have gone off Foden. Or indeed that young lad Rico Lewis. The wheels definitely haven't fallen off him. But I look at Bernardo Silva and I look at Gundogan in a different way. Rodri not being there is absolutely massive. But when you lose Rodri, I think you need the likes of your Bernardo Silvas, even your Fodens at this stage, your Kevin De Bruyne's, all your Haalands, your Grealishes, all these that have been there and seen it and done it with them to stand up, and I don't think they have. And that's why I think people think, is there something else going on there? Because De Bruyne Cut's a very frustrated figure. Very frustrated figure. And when he's frustrated, you know what's going on there, because he's been the heartbeat for so long. And we'll see. Maybe there is players there that just, they feel it's over. Maybe it's something to do with the court cases. Maybe the time is up. Maybe it's not Pep Guardiola's time. Maybe it's just City's time is up at this time. That team in particular. One other thing that stood out to me, and if you have anything that stood out, throw them in, because I'm enjoying reading them out. I really like this kind of format. The amount of times Mo Salah is fouled yesterday, and a foul isn't given for Mo Salah, is bananas, isn't it? He gets a couple of fouls early on, and you're thinking, okay, I think Kavanagh was the ref, and you're like, okay, they're hanging out of him, he'll get the fouls, good, that's fine. And then it just stops. It's literally like, okay, listen, referee gets a note in his ear, that's his quota, Salah has reached his quota, we're done. And then Ake is fucking hanging out of him for the rest of the first half in particular. And you're like, what is going on here? Don't get me wrong, players can go, shoulder to shoulder, and a player falls over and you're thinking, was it a foul? No, it wasn't. But every time the ball got played to Mo Salah yesterday, whether it was at his feet, waist height, chest height, maybe not head height. I think he was being beaten at head height, and that's a physical thing. But for the centre, or the left back, sorry, in Ake, who was dealing with him an awful lot of the time, constantly with his arms over his shoulders. His arms over Mo Salah's shoulders. And then literally placing his hands on Mo Salah's chest and then just walking backwards. Like, how is the referee not seeing this? And how is the linesman not seeing this and giving these fouls? It's literally like, we've given them 2 fouls. That's it. The quota is gone. Kev O'Sullivan says, the narrative, media narrative, advent calendar, admission, Salah never gets the fouls he should. I think that might just be a statement, but I'm with you on it. It was mad to watch back. And if anyone can tell me what Bernardo Silva or what Mo Salah says to Bernardo Silva near the end there when he kicks out of him, let me know. Storming a teacup, great name. Measured performance, absolutely a measured performance. And the one last thing that stand out to me, I'm going to bring it to you now in a minute. The ref was absolute dirt, I thought, says Gavin Walsh. I thought he was poor. I really thought he was poor. The Foden one is a yellow card. I think he gives your man Nunez a card for a foul on Trent, and I thought that was a bit. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. He gives maybe the grab. Well, maybe that one is right. More so not. Maybe not the yellow cards. Maybe he gets the yellow cards right, but some of the fouls and the stuff on Salah was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't get over how many times people can literally put their arms over Mo Salah's shoulders, place their hands on his chest, and then just walk backwards with him in this hold and not have a foul call against him. It blows my mind how it can happen. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, if you see them not giving, but if you see a fullback say is standing up to take Mo Salah over, say it's Trent Alexander-Arnold against Doku, and Doku gets his foot on, gets his back to the goal, ball comes into his feet, and Trent just goes in and just literally moves into the back of him. Doku half goes down, free kick. But it seems to be because they have Salah in this hold and they're walking backwards and holding Salah up in the air or holding Salah vertical and not nearly allowing him to drop to the ground because he's being fouled. It's not a foul. It was mad to watch yesterday. I thought the ref wasn't great. I have to be honest. I thought the ref wasn't great. Ake mauling him, says Kieran. But yeah, it was just unbelievable. Kieran says Salah never gets anything. It's really fucking annoying. It really is. Pasio says, I can't stand this gag as a ref, but honestly, I thought overall he was fine. I didn't. Let me see. Paul Gormley says, I love how we play Klopp-style football, then relax and save the legs for the last 15, 20 minutes and blows teams away. It's working a treat. You can call us Klopp football if you want. I just think Aaron, and I think Chris made a great point on the post-match show yesterday. He said, look, everyone adores Jurgen Klopp for what he's done for Liverpool and where he stands in Liverpool's history and above around and amongst great managers. But we need to stop it. Arne Slot is playing Arne Slot football. And I just thought it was excellent yesterday. Bertie says, under Slot, and hi Bertie, I hope you enjoyed your point yesterday. Under Slot, this Liverpool team is not letting the occasion get to them, controlling games. Patrick, they've all woken up late here. Patrick says, morning folks, we're some side. Alejandro says, it's classic Gary Neville narrative. When Harry Kane goes down, he's being clever. When Mo Salah goes down, he should be ashamed and should toughen up if he wants to play in the Prem. Yeah, there's another one. But yeah, I just didn't think the ref was great. I didn't think the ref was great. The last thing that stood out to me, because I have to go, 30 minutes. We said we do 30 minutes on this. The last thing before I go that stood out for me is the Anfield crowd. And I can't get it across enough how this makes a huge and has a huge effect on both sets of teams, both managers. especially the away one yesterday, and just takes a team and pushes it. And I don't mean pushes it towards the Kop end to score goals, pushes it to what it needs to get to. Whether that's, right, so this is why it stood out to me. It's easy to say the crowd was great, but they were as loud when Liverpool were sitting off as when Liverpool were going for Man City. And I think the understanding of what Slot is trying to do and the way he's trying to play is really kicking in at Anfield. And in fairness, fair enough, you need 10 games to see it. That's fine. But yesterday, when we were getting them and we were breaking the ball up and we were counter pressing or whatever you want to call it, high pressing, the crowd were brilliant. When we were attacking corners, brilliant. But in the second half, I thought the crowd were excellent because Liverpool went, we're comfortable in our skin, we're going to sit back, we're going to hit you on the break. And the Liverpool crowd did not get this kind of nervous buzz, lull, quiet. It's literally like 50, 60,000 people talking to each other about how nervous they are. That didn't come yesterday. Everything was on. Yes, we're doing this. We're backing them in this period of the game. And that's what we done. And I thought the crowd was unbelievable yesterday. And honestly, if Liverpool can get that crowd like 80% of the way, 90% and 100% would be amazing. But if we do that for the rest of the season, nobody comes to Anfield and hurt you. I promise you nobody comes, because it's just so fucking powerful. So powerful. Bertie said his head is thumping, to be honest. Many points. We're drunk. Nice one, though. That's the only way it's going. Paul Gormley says, when Anfield is rocking, we're unstoppable. I fully agree. Marge Apple says, just more mediocre reffing. Yeah, possibly was. Fast at Horror said, did you see how desperate G-Nev was for Liverpool players to get booked? I kind of tuned out from him. I tuned out as best I could, but, you can't. It's hard to. He's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere, pushing whatever narrative he wants to push. Ortega called Liverpool a bad area in the UK, which is ironic since he's from Bielefeld, German equivalent to Leeds, a place full of neo-Nazis and gangs. Okay, nice. I didn't directly see that quote from Ortega. I did hear about it, but it's a bit of a weird one as well. Klopp the more entertaining football, no doubt for me, says Kieran. Little thing I like Klopp not giving Gravenberch. Little things I like Klopp not giving Gravenberch or Endo last year, or not using Kanati when we come back last season, the only criticism. Cool. Fran Dowling says, let me see. What's the story, Gav? Hope all as well. I woke up pitching a tent this morning about those 3 points. Nice one, Fran. Let me see. Love Klopp. Loving Slot though as well, says Kieran B. Teams talks finished. I'm back to bask in the glory of the table topping Reds. A nice one, Avo. That was a quick teams talk you were on. Ben says, Gav, can you see Liverpool losing a game for the rest of the season? Yeah, they're going to lose a game between now and the end of the season. Of course they are. They might lose 2 or 3. But they're learning. And I keep saying it. Learning and enjoying. And they're learning and enjoying. And they learned stuff yesterday during the game. They learned stuff after the game. They're enjoying it. You see how close they are. You see how, such a tight-knit squad we have. And that's a huge plus for Erling Slot coming in. They're so tight-knit. They're just in a great spot at the moment. And that has been your standouts for Liverpool against Man City. I've brought some. You've brought some. That has been fantastic how you've done that. And we'll do it again after Newcastle. So we'll be doing that Thursday, won't we? We'll do it at some stage Thursday. We will be back for members in about 20 minutes, where we have our show, The 30, where we talk about anything we like. Could be football, it could be anything, and that's how we roll. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.